Hello! I'm back for week 6 for Let's Talk Chicago Bears. I'm in a good mood like we all are because the Bears didn't lose it last Sunday. I know, wasn't that great? So, welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. We were off for about 10 days because the Bears had their bye, which they really needed to get healthy. So, and it looks like some of our missing components on defense will be back this week if all goes the way it's supposed to. Now, I am doing the show early. Remember, I'm in Vegas, so I'm doing the show early in the morning, and I have not seen the injury report for today, Friday, or tomorrow's, obviously, Saturday. I've only seen what they put out yesterday, and it's encouraging from what I'm reading. And not so encouraging. So let's see we'll get into that later. But so I hope you all guys had a nice break, a little, 10 to 12 day break between the last game when they were here in Las Vegas, the Raiders. That was one hell of a game. Although the Raiders are really bad. But who cares? The Bears are 2-2, and we're going into the rest of the season now. We're done with the first quarter. You know how many times I talked about the first quarter, the first 4 games? That's when you figure out what kind of team you have, because the way that football is now, they don't, camp is so different. So you really don't know what kind of team you have until the third and fourth seat game. And it's showed all around the league this year, if you ask me. Some of the teams, sloppy play the last 4 games, penalties. I mean, good teams too. You know, Kansas City, the Bills, when they played, oh God, what's today? Friday. They played on Monday, right? They shot themselves in the foot. Penalties. You know how I feel about penalties. So we're in the second quarter regardless. We were done with our bye, so it's all forward for the Bears from now on until the end of the season. So everybody on board. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's get into it, right? So we are playing, unfortunately, we all know about this game, and nobody's probably too happy about it. We're playing the Washington Commanders again on national TV again in Washington again, because we all know what happened last year with the Hail Mary. That completely destroyed the team after that game. It destroyed a player's head. Number 29, Stevenson, was never the same the rest of the season. Which he needed to grow up, and I think he has. But it was a god-awful game. It really showed our coaches' abilities, or should I say, not abilities, to coach a NFL team. I feel that he lost that game for us. A lot of people say it was Stevenson. I say it was the head coach. Should have called a timeout before that last pass, and he didn't. So game was over. And the Bears were never the same after that until the very last game when they finally decided to get their shit together and beat Packers. So this is a redemption game, in my opinion. But Ben Johnson, the head coach, says this is a brand new team. So that was last year. This is this year. Of course, I agree with him 100%. But there's still a lot of players on that team that were in that game last year. The majority of them, maybe not the offensive line, but you know what I mean. And I'm hoping that it's in their head to get revenge. I don't care if you win by 1 point, 10 points, you got to beat those jerks on national TV. There's 2 Monday night games, too, this week, which I think is so stupid. I don't understand why they do it, but whatever. And unfortunately, the Bears game is the late game for you guys back in Illinois. Here, it don't matter because we're 2 hours behind you. But so maybe as many people won't be watching that game. But we were humiliated, embarrassed, whatever you want to say, on national TV last year. Bears should have never lost that game. So, all right, no more about that. So, the Bears and the Commanders, or slash the Redskins, because they were that majority of the time, have played 54 games, including 7 postseason games. The Bears have been winning. The Bears have 25 wins, and the Commanders have 28 wins. and they also have tied once. So, of course, another team that's beating us, but we want to turn that around, right? And the very first time they ever met was in October 1932. All right, so let's get into some stats that I usually do right before the game. I compare both teams, where they're at in 4 categories: pass, rush, points scored, and points allowed, and I compare them both. So, the Bears, for their first 4 games, now Washington has played 5. The Bears have played 4 because they had a bye. So the Bears they're averaging 225 yards passing a game. That puts them 13th in the league, and there's 32 teams in the league. Washington is averaging around 192 yards. That puts them 23rd in the league out of 32 teams. But I think it would be better because Daniels was only played 3 games, their starting quarterback, and it was Mariota, I think, is their backup, and he was in one of the games. So that could be a little different. But regardless, we're beating them on that, and that's about the only time we beat them. Our average rushing, which you know how I'm shocked it's even 102 yards per game because we're god-awful. And we're 24th in the league. We're not last, we're 24th, but sit down for this one. Washington is averaging 156 yards, and they're first in the league. And the Bears are dead last on defense on stopping the run. Yeah, you heard that. So something's going to give on this game. You've got the best running against the worst stopping. But we've got some players coming back, so I hope that changes things. But this is a huge thing because I talk about the run game all the time, obviously for us. But what I say is the same for the other team. If they can run the ball, it's going to help their quarterback. It's going to keep our offense on the field. It's going to keep our defense on the field. See, so they're one. So that's really a concern for me. The Bears have scored an average of 25 points a game. That puts them 10th in the league. We're right there with Washington. They're averaging 26 points a game per game, and that puts them 8th. Points allowed by the defense, not good. The Bears have allowed an average of 29 points a game. That puts them 28th out of 32 teams. And Washington, again, are averaging only allowing 20 points a game, and that puts them 10th in the league. So in 3 categories, rush, points scored, and points allowed, Washington is in the top 10. We were only in the top 10 in points scored. So, you know what? You can see on paper, Washington much better. But that doesn't always mean shit, right? I mean, I always say anybody can be beaten on any given day. The Bears are coming off a bye. Well, we're going to talk about those stats too, which aren't pretty. But you know what? I have a feeling that they went in positive. They went in on a 2-game win streak. Of course, they beat Dallas, which is a pretty decent team, and they beat Raiders, who was a god-awful team. But I don't think they were as bad Raiders until we beat them. Like, we kind of defeated them that Sunday 2 weeks ago because it was right down to kind of like Washington and many other teams did to the Bears last year, because they were in a lot of games last year except for a few, but they were always lost at the last seconds. We know that, right? Was it Detroit or Minnesota? Indy? I mean, there were so many. And so we know how that feels. So let's hope things turn around is my point. So, okay, let's get in and let's stop the chit-chat, Lynn. All right. I am the announcer. I know. My show, I can do what I want. Okay, so our quarterback, Caleb Williams, for 4 games, he has 927 yards passing. He has done 8 touchdowns with 2 interceptions, and that's a very good ratio. He's been sacked 7 times, and he has rushed for 110 times, or 110 yards. Now, Daniels has only played 3 games. He was out last week. He did not play last week or the week before. I can't remember. But in 3 games, he has 664 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's been sacked 8 times, and he has rushed for 124 yards. So, not a lot of touchdowns, even though it's only, he's one game less, but still, his touchdown ratio isn't great. He doesn't have a lot of them, but they have a great running game. So they're scoring their touchdowns. As I said, they're number one in league. They're scoring most of their touchdowns, as you can tell, on the ground, which is again a concern for the Bears, right? So I'm just giving the top running backs for both teams. If you want to call Swift number 4 running back, woo! God, sit down for this, because this is gonna be just knock you off the feet. He has in 4 games 187 rushing yards. That's pathetic. I'm sure in Pee Wee leagues, kids have more than that. He does have 2 touchdowns. He's great in space, but he is not I've said it. I've been saying it since the beginning of last year. He's not the answer, and I was really disappointed. I really thought the Bears might go get a running back, but then I started reading while they were on the bye, and I started reading. And I think the reason they haven't done it yet, we still have a month before the trade deadline, but is I think Ben Johnson told Poles, wait, don't do anything yet. Let me see if I could turn this thing around. So I'm guessing the next 2 games might be pretty big for the Bears in their running attack, and see what we do moving forward. So again, embarrassing, 187. 2 touchdowns for Swift, and their leading running back, Merritt, whatever, who cares? He has 283 rushing yards with 4 touchdowns. But they have a couple other running backs that have well into the hundreds too. I just didn't want to list them. But so they've got, again, great running attack. But then again, I told you they are number 1. Okay, I just wrote down a few, the wide receivers, comparing them a little bit. Rome, our awesome second-year wide receiver, number 15, that I think him and Cabe are going to have quite a career together. He has 296 receiving yards with 5 touchdowns. Keep it up, man. Moore, our number two wide receiver. Well, he's not our number 2, but kind of is. But his number is 2. He has 173 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. Excuse me. I like this guy, number 14, OZ. I like him. He has 119 yards receiving. And then our tight end, Clement, 85, has 116 yards with 1 touchdown. Love to see the tight ends get a little bit more involved. For the Washington receivers, of course, they're pretty much with us. Samuel is their leading receiver. He has 300 receiving yards in the air to 3 touchdowns. So him and Rome are right there. Their second guy, McLean, has 194 receiving yards. Ertz also has 194 receiving yards. He is their tight end. He also has 2 touchdowns. And another wide receiver is McCaffrey. He has 146 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. So our wide receivers are pretty much there. We have a little bit less, and McCaffrey, yes. If you're saying that name seems familiar, he is the brother of the McCaffrey, who is a running back for the San Francisco 49ers. So, yes, they're brothers. He's younger. So there's talent, right? As you can see, they've got an offense that can score, that can get yards. So, that's why. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, they are 3-2. That's their record. But forget that. That means shit right now. And this early in the season, that doesn't really mean much. You don't, just because you're 3-2 doesn't make them good or bad. You know what I mean? They're, again, like I said, that first quarter, trying to find the identity of their team. Plus, Daniels was out for 1 game, their quarterback. So, they're talented. Bottom line. Our defense, we have only 5 sacks, which is just pissing me off. We have 7 interceptions, which is making me very happy, and I want to see some more on Sunday. They have 2 forced fumbles, and they recovered both of the forced fumbles. Right on. Now, that's what you want to see. Now, this is what you don't want to see, is Washington's defense has 15 sacks. So, offensive line, look out. Now, our offensive line has gotten better each week. I think we can all agree with that. We just got to make sure that Darnell Wright is in there. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But 15 sacks scares the shit out of me because they're going to be coming. let's just say, really, until the Bears can prove that Cabe can stand back there and do his job without getting sacked, without the line falling apart, teams, all they're going to do is come after him because let's face it, he was the most sacked quarterback last year at 68. And he's not right now, but he's up there. Okay, so it's come down quite a bit, but they're going to be coming for him is my point. Okay, they got a good team, good off D line, and they're going to come from them and middle linebackers. They have 2 interceptions. They forced 4 fumbles, but they only recovered 1. So that's a good ratio for the Bears. We forced 2 fumbles and recovered them both. If you're going to get fumbles, you better damn well recover them, right? I mean, come on. So we beat them in one category on defense, and that's interceptions and fumbles. So we're going to have to see. So basically, there's your stats. So let's get into the meat of what in my opinion, how we're going to get this game won. And I said it's a redemption game for the Bears. I believe that. It's a redemption game for the organization and for us Bears fans because let's face it, after that game, who was not defeated and pissed off? Right? So first, defense. We're back to defense. They've got to stop the run, as I just told you. They're number 1 out of 32 teams, and they're averaging 156 yards per game. The Bears gave up to the Raiders 2 weeks ago at that game, 240 yards rushing. Yeah. Can you believe it? 240 yards rushing to the Raiders. But we still won that game. So that was a good thing, but it came down to a blocked field goal. So you can't let teams run 254 yards or 240 yards and expect to win the game. You can't give them 156 yards and expect to win the game, okay? You can't live by that. It'll shoot you in the foot every time. So the defense has got to step up, and they got to all be in and play and stop that run. And as I said, they're not good, the Bears. I also wrote down they're giving up an average of 164 yards a game to the opposing teams on the ground. That is just god-awful, and you can't win a game like that. Again, of course, I just said that they beat the Raiders, but Raiders are bad, and so you just can't do that because we're coming up to a tough schedule. Actually, it doesn't look quite as tough as it did the beginning of the year because some of these teams we're going to be playing are hurt and aren't doing well, but still, NFL, right? So the D's got to stop the run, and they cannot let Washington run up and down the field and score. They've got to keep the scoring down. They're eighth in the league on scoring, and so that is a problem. As I said, it's the running team that's what's going to hurt us. So I know the Bears are going to go in. You know the Bears are going to go in. We got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. And then force him to pass. And if you do that, you're going to make him make mistakes, okay? And if we can get back, it looks like, now again, remember, this is early Friday. We're playing Monday. It looks like as of right now, 53 Edwards, yay, our linebacker, little guy in the middle, and our backfield guy, number 6, Gordon, yay, are going to be playing. Now, they practice, so we need them so bad. If we can get these guys in there, and again, they haven't played, so they're going to be rusty, but we need them so bad. And this will be huge. Austin Booker, number 94, our D lineman on the line, who had a great preseason. This is his second year. I think he's going to get better and better, but he hasn't played. He was on IR. So first game back, he full practice, so they got to take him off IR, though. But I'm sure they will, but he has full practice. So we need him. If we can get these 3 guys back, because there's another guy on defense hurt, and I hope he plays. Gentry, he's hurt. Garrett Gentry, it'll make a difference. If we can be a healthy defense, we are going to have a much better chance in winning this game. Hands down, we know that, right? So the defense, like I said, we got to cause the turnovers, and that's what helped beat Raiders 2 weeks ago. Was we had, 3 turnovers and a fumble in that game. So because I think Bide got two, Stevenson got one, and I don't know who had the fumble because that was 2 weeks ago, and the brain is pickled. Um, but the defense, turnovers are huge. You all know that. I don't have to explain it. It keeps your offense on the field, their offense off the field, your defense off the field, and their defense on the field. You can wear them out. It defeats the team, and it gives you all the advantages. So if you can get your defense to get that ball away from Washington and give it back to Cabe and our offense, that's what we really need. Because I say they got to stop the run. We know it, but they're bad at it. They're not all of a sudden overnight going to be like, allowing 50 yards only. It's just not going to happen. Now, maybe. Of course, if Booker's back, you don't know. So, but it just really worries me. And remember, Daniels has 124 yards in 3 games. So, their quarterback, so you've got to be very, very careful. And Daniels is going to want to win this game because him and Cabe were, our quarterback, were drafted 1 and 2. So, it's always a little rivalry there. But the defense, at the end of the day, they've got to make it uncomfortable for Daniels, the quarterback, to do his job. You got to either sack him, you got to get in his face, knock him down, make it so he's uncomfortable. If you can do that, you're going to cause him to make mistakes. So you could do that with any quarterback. If you make their job, remember what happened to ours last year, right? You make their job just miserable, we've got a good chance. So the defense has to step up again. Way better than they did against the Raiders, that's for sure. Now, I did want to touch on something because we all know what happened last year with Stevenson, number 25. Yeah, yes. Did he contribute? Yes. But at the end of the day, I totally blame that loss on our last idiot coach, Flus. He mismanaged that whole game and, like a lot of them. So, excuse me. After that game, Stevenson was having a good season last year. Considering what was going on. After that game, he was never the same. I'm sure it got in his head. Wouldn't it you? So, he's been playing better and better and better each week. I've noticed, he had that great interception in the Raiders game. He's been around some great tackles. So this is kind of what the coaching staff said. The coaching staff said about him, Stevenson, certainly I think the confidence in him is rising. He knows he is capable of being a very good player. The coaching staff hasn't kept that a secret. So they're trying to pump him up. He's very capable. This is the coaches. He's very capable as a coverage defender, and he helps with the run. It just seems like he is gaining more and more confidence each week to become the player that they all know he is capable of, and we know. And I'm seeing it too. He needed to grow up after that. He needed somebody to show him some guidance, and I think the Bears coaching staff, Dennis Allen, Ben Johnson, and everybody else has shown him. So each week he's stepping up, and I think he's going to step big time up. Well, he should for this game. I'm sure he circled this game on his calendar when he saw the schedule. So he's really got to do it. And if he can get at least one interception or a fumble or something man, that would be great. Okay, right? So I just wanted to read that because I have always liked this kid, and I felt really bad. Not only was I really pissed off at what happened last year in that game, but I knew this kid was going to be messed up after that, and he was. He was. So, but now he's back, and let's see. So basically we know what the D's got to do. Stop the run, get in his face, their quarterback Daniels, get some turnovers, and no penalties. Okay? Now, the offense. We got first and foremost the offense, and they were better 2 weeks ago about this. They got to stop these 3 and outs. They cannot be doing that. I don't care. I want you to score, of course. Do not get me wrong. 3 or 7, I don't care. But I want them going down the field methodically, getting first downs, eating up the clock, keeping the Washington offense off the field, and wearing out the defense. That's why a run game is so freaking important. I've said it. You know what? You listen to me, you know it. It's like you're like, God, Lynn, I know it. But I have to say it. If we had a run game, that's what helps you go down the field, chew up time, chew up yards, wear down their defense, and get points. So, first though, no 3 and outs. Just keep moving that damn ball. And our offensive line has got to be tough because I told you they have 15 sacks. They are good. So you can't let them get in, like I said, get in Daniel's face. Our offensive line has got to block Caleb Williams and let him settle and be able to do it. He's getting a little more confidence where last year he was, when he thought the line, although the line was almost always crashing in on him last year, but there was games where it didn't, and he still reacted in the wrong way. So he's starting to trust his offensive line. I've seen it each week. Again, all new guys for the most part. It takes them a little while. I told you, offensive line is the one unit on a team that really needs to play day in, day out, every snap together to be good, because that unit is one unit. It's not one guy, it's one unit together with all the guys. So important that this line help Cabe get there. Help the running attack. That's the other thing. They need to open up holes for the running attack. And you know what? I'm not blaming them. I've heard people say it. I still say it's Swift. I've seen holes. He just doesn't see them sometimes. He doesn't get through them. He's not a power back like Scadaboo, number 44 on the Giants. Did you see him last night? Every time I see this guy get first downs and touchdowns, it pisses me off because he was drafted by the Giants last year in the 4th or 5th round? I think the 5th? 4th. It doesn't matter. I wanted him, and the Bears should have taken him. They took a running back, that Kyle, number 29, I can't say his last, number 25, I'm sorry, Kyle, our running back. We took him at 7th, but you know what? It should have been Scadaboo. I'm telling you guys, if you watch this kid, this is what Swift is not. He can't take runners with us. This kid, Scadaboo, he reminds me of Walter in some ways. I mean, not nearly as good as Walter, but Walter could drag people on his back and still get 5 more yards. That's what this kid can do, and we don't have that. So if we can get the offensive line to open up, big giant holes so Swift can see them, which isn't realistic, it would really help. But my most concern is protecting Williams, to let him do his job. Now, if we did have a running game, then he would be able to throw downfield more, because then you don't become one-dimensional, which the Bears pretty much are, because you don't have a running attack, and everybody in the league knows it. So it's going to be, they're going to stop the run. We're going to try to stop their run, and they know they can stop our run. So, you know what I mean? Now, 79, Thilo Benadet, whatever, Thilo, number 79, a rookie. He replaced Braxton Jones in the Vegas game and stayed in. He was up against their beast, Max Crosby, and this Thilo did a pretty damn good job. And it looks like he may be replacing Braxton Jones this week at left tackle. So we'll see. You know what? Hey, Jones, if you're not doing it, put in a rookie and let him do it. Now, Darnell Wright, I saw on, it's weird. I see these injury reports, and they're not consistent. I don't understand why. On one injury report from yesterday, he was questionable. On another one, he wasn't on the list. So I don't know what to say about that, honestly. So let's just say we hope Wright's back. Otherwise, if he can't play, the guy who was in last week or 2 weeks ago for him was number 75, Ozzy Topillo, whatever. We'll just call him Ozzy, 75 Ozzy. He will replace Wright. So I'd like to see Wright in there because he's doing real well. He's one of our solid guys. He played good last year and this year, and we need the best. Not that this Ozzy can't do it, but he's still young. He's a rookie. So, let's hope that Wright is healthy and he's back in there. And then we come down, of course, to Williams. Williams has got to be smart. He's got to try to scan that field as fast as he can and make decisions. Look for the cut down, the checkoff guy if you have to. Hopefully his wide receivers and tight ends, because I saw this in the game last week where a quarterback was running all over. God, was it Tampa Bay? It doesn't matter. And all of a sudden his wide receiver was way down by the, like 40 yards down, and he saw his quarterback. So he came back wide open, caught a touchdown, and they were first down like on the 10-yard line. So that's what I say about our wide receivers and tight ends. You gotta, if you turn around and you see your quarterback running for his life or scrambling here and there, try to get open and let him know, okay? So you got to help him. So Cabe has got to be smart with every decision he makes on Monday night, because it's going to be a fast game, a fast defense, and they're going to be at him. So he has got to keep doing what he's doing. In my opinion, I've seen him grow each week this year. And, if we can get that line to protect him, he's got to make good decisions. Do not turn that ball over, Mr. Williams. We cannot survive that. That's the one thing that's so important for this game with Washington is we need to get turnovers on them. We need to cause them to do it. We cannot afford to have turnovers, okay? It has to be a clean, 100% smart played game on D and offense, okay? So, and I wanted to talk about, let's talk about, I saw this stat and I was like, oh my God, although it didn't really surprise me. The Bears have a terrible record since Lovie Smith coming off byes. Lovie was the last one that he was 6 for 3. So we won 6 games out of the 9 after a bye. After Lovie, Matt Flus, our coach, was 1 for 2. We won 1 out of 2 games. Matt Nagy never won a game. 4 games of byes. He never won a bye game. The game after a bye. I can't speak. John Fox, idiot. He was 0 for 3. Never won a game after a bye. And the man who, if he takes off his hat, looks like a child molester, in my opinion, Mark Trestman, was 1 for 1. So since Lovie Smith, we suck after byes. And it's so important to win your game after the bye. It just sets the tone for the rest of the season. And we've got a long season to go because our bye was the first week. Of course, nobody originally liked that, but with those injuries we've had, I didn't mind the bye at all being that late because it was like, that early. God, you know what? This is what happens when you're, in your late 60s. You were a little bit of a partier. You fell down many flights of stairs. And many crazy shit. Your mind just starts to become pickled. So I apologize. But the bottom line is we got to win this game. And again, our bye was early, so we have a lot of games to play. Okay, we're 2-2, and we're going in week 6. So yeah, you can see we need to break that trend too, that Ben Johnson's got to change that and come out and win on Monday night, and let's start moving forward, right? Stop those bad tendencies and go forward. So our injuries, let's see here. Let me see. Okay, so this was as of yesterday. Again, remember, yesterday, Thursday. We have an injury report today and tomorrow because we're playing on Monday. But for defense, number 50, Jarrett. Excuse me. He's a D lineman. He's an edge rusher. He was questionable. Brisker 29 was questionable, which worries me. Then I said that 94 Booker practiced, but he was still officially on IR, so the Bears have to take him off of IR. On the offense, we've got 25 Kyle, our running back, number 73 Jonah Jackson, O-lineman, 86 tight end Loveland, and our O-lineman, as I said, 58 Wright, all questionable. So, and number 21 Homer, our running back, also was on IR, did practice, but he's still on IR. He has to be moved off like Booker. So, you know what? It's going to be, we'll have to see. You guys, like I said, I'm doing the show early, so we'll see. Let's just hope Everybody can play in this game. And Brisker, I'm really hoping he's in. We do not need him sidelined when we're getting back Edwards and Gordon. You know what I mean? We need them all out there together. So, fingers crossed. So, and then my threes. Penalties, turnovers, and 3 and outs. 5 or less penalties. You cannot have more than 5 penalties, Bears. And they have got to stop these pre-snap penalties that are just so ridiculous on offense. Most of our penalties have been on offense this year, and they've been very non-productive. You start out 1st and 10, and then boom, you got a penalty. It's 1st and 15 or 1st and 20. You're screwed. That's not what, he sends in a play. He's not sending in the play for 1st and 20. He's sending in the play for 1st and 10. And you can't shoot yourselves in the foot. You can't go the wrong way. 5 or less penalties, and I mean it. Turnovers, I've explained it a million times how productive they are. Bears need to get them on defense, and Bears offense cannot have turnovers. So you want them on defense, and you don't want them on offense. So it's big. Turnovers are big one way or another. And then the third one is 3 and outs. I used to do time of possession, but even though that's big, I know a lot of people say it's not, but if you win the time of possession, you're keeping their offense off the field and their defense on, and you're wearing them out. But I do 3 and outs this year. So again, why I explain you cannot have 3 and outs on the offense, because all it does is it only benefits the other team, because it makes your offense, they're trying to catch their wind, and boom, they're right back out. Their defense is relaxing, or our defense is out there. I think I said offense. I meant defense. You don't want to, on 3 and outs, 1, 2, 3, it's like, maybe a 3 and out can last 1 minute, seriously. And boom, then your defense has to come right back out, and their defense can go sit down. So, and you allow them to come out and, run up and down the field. 3 and outs, so unproductive on the offense. So minimize those. Just chew up the clock and the yards. Bottom line. Get that running game going. Stop the running game for Washington. Get turnovers. Get in Daniel's face. Our offensive line, protect Cabe, and get our running game going. But we know that's probably not going to happen. So I've been chattering too long, but this is it, guys. Pretty simple, right? What has to be done. So let's hope we on Tuesday. It'll be a Victory Tuesday. Not a Victory Monday, but a Victory Tuesday. So let's hope that our Chicago Bears can can get a win and really start the second half of the season for them on a positive note, coming off of a bye, and sticking it to Washington for what happened last year. Because you know what? I still get pretty mad about that game. There's a few games that stick in my craw, and that's one of them. So, anyways, you know what needs to be done. So, let's go Bears, baby. Bring us home a victory. Yeah. And if they do, I sing the victory touchdown song. I know. Okay, guys. On that note, thank you again for watching. I really appreciate people turning me on. Boom. And listening to me, it's such a pleasure. Thank you. You have no idea how it makes me feel, and I appreciate it. Expert I'm not, but pretty darn close. Been 50 years. I've been watching the Bears, unrelentlessly watching them for 50 years. I'm one of those fans that's probably one hand how many games I missed. Well, maybe 2, because 50 years is a long time, right? So I even had my baby in the summer so I wouldn't miss any football. Not really. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, be kind to one another, love one another, respect people, and let's just get along, right? Times are so tough right now. Everybody's on edge. Let's get along. Like Bears fans, we all love each other. So let's just treat everybody else out there the same. Smile at people. How are you doing? You don't know what's going on in their lives. Life can be real tough. You never know what somebody's going through. And I can tell you from experience, I've had a long, interesting, sometimes very difficult life. Plus, I'm a Bears fan. So, just be kind. Please be kind. Think before you speak. That's all I'm asking. Okay? So, rock and roll. Bears are going to bring us home a victory. I will see you Tuesday, probably later in the afternoon, because Tuesdays are one of the days I watch my awesome two little grandsons, and Owen and Calvin. Rock on, you two. And as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. See you after that victory.